Life is full of challenges, distractions, and obstacles that can make it feel like success is out of reach. But here's the truth. The power to change, to succeed, and to build the life you want is already within you. It starts with one simple decision, deciding to focus on yourself. When you commit to working on your growth, prioritizing your goals, and taking full responsibility for your actions, you unlock your potential. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to the person you're meant to become. You don't need to wait for the perfect circumstances or approval from others. You have the strength and the ability to create the life you deserve. So stop waiting for things to happen, make them happen. Your journey to success begins the moment you choose to focus on you, keep pushing forward, and watch your dreams unfold. Number 1. Take full control of your actions every day. Taking full control of your actions every day is the first and most fundamental step towards achieving anything meaningful in your life. It is about being deliberate with your choices, your mindset, and how you approach the challenges you face each day. The reality is that every decision you make, whether big or small, has an impact on the direction of your life. The sooner you realize that you are in charge of how you respond to circumstances, the sooner you'll begin to take responsibility for your future. Control doesn't mean trying to control everything around you. It means controlling what you can, your thoughts, your reactions, your habits, and your actions. The world will throw countless distractions, challenges, and temptations in your way, but none of those things have the power to determine the course of your life unless you let them. You must take ownership of your actions and focus on creating the life you want by being intentional with how you spend your time and energy. Every single day you have an opportunity to take charge of your actions. The first decision you make each morning is whether you're going to take responsibility for your life or let outside forces dictate your actions. The moment you wake up, you have control over what you do next. Will you stay in bed and let the day slip away, or will you take control and move forward with purpose? This is where it all begins. The small, seemingly insignificant choices add up over time to create your destiny. Taking full control of your actions requires discipline. It's not enough to simply know that you can make better choices. You must develop the habits that will support your goals. Discipline is about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, and pushing yourself to continue when the initial excitement fades. It's about staying focused on the long-term outcome, not just the short-term comforts. This is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who only dream about them. To take control of your actions, you must also be aware of the distractions that constantly pull your attention away. In today's world, distractions are everywhere, from social media notifications to random thoughts and impulses that seem to have a life of their own. Every time you let yourself get sidetracked by these distractions, you are giving away your power. You are giving away your ability to make intentional decisions that will move you closer to your goals. When you take full control, you decide how you use your time and energy, and you make sure they are invested in what matters most to you. The challenge is not about eliminating every distraction, but rather about being proactive in how you manage them. If you want to take control of your actions, you have to develop the ability to filter out the noise and stay focused on what's important. The more you practice this skill, the easier it becomes to stay on track, even when the world around you is chaotic. When you are fully in control of your actions, nothing can derail you from your path. Another key aspect of taking control is managing your emotions. Emotions are a powerful force, and when you let them dictate your actions, you give up control. We all experience negative emotions like frustration, fear, and doubt, but these emotions don't have to define our actions. You have the ability to acknowledge your emotions, but you do not have to let them rule you. Instead of reacting impulsively to your emotions, take a step back, breathe, and make a conscious decision about how to respond. Your ability to manage your emotions gives you the power to act in alignment with your goals, not in reaction to temporary feelings. Taking control of your actions also means being accountable for your mistakes. We all make mistakes. It's part of being human. But when you take responsibility for your mistakes, you don't let them define you. You don't let them become excuses to give up or take a step backward. Instead, you learn from them, adjust your approach, and keep moving forward. Accountability is a sign of strength, not weakness. It shows that you have the courage to face the consequences of your actions and the wisdom to learn from them. Another aspect of taking full control of your actions is setting clear and specific goals. Without a clear direction, it's easy to get lost in the day-to-day distractions and forget what you're truly working toward. Goals give you something to focus on and work toward. They act as a compass, guiding your actions in the right direction. However, goals alone are not enough. You must back them up with deliberate actions every single day. If you're not taking consistent action toward your goals, you're not in control of your life. You're just reacting to the world around you. This is where time management becomes crucial. Your time is the most valuable resource you have, and once it's gone, you can never get it back. Taking full control of your actions means being intentional about how you use your time. Instead of allowing your day to be filled with random tasks and distractions, take charge by creating a plan. Prioritize the activities that will bring you closer to your goals, and eliminate or minimize the ones that waste your time. Each day is an opportunity to move forward, and the more deliberate you are with your time, the more progress you'll make. Taking control also means stepping out of your comfort zone. Comfort can be a seductive place to stay, but it's also where growth goes to die. If you always choose what feels comfortable, you'll never reach your full potential. True growth comes from pushing yourself beyond what you already know, from taking risks, and from doing the things that scare you. Control means recognizing when comfort is holding you back and making the decision to move past it. It's about choosing progress over ease and knowing that the best version of yourself lies just beyond the point where you feel most uncomfortable. When you take control of your actions, you also take control of your future. Every decision you make today sets the course for tomorrow. You may not see the results of your actions immediately, but over time those small decisions will compound, and they will define the life you create. Taking control of your actions is about understanding that your future is in your hands. You have the power to shape it, to create the life you want, and to become the person you aspire to be. The journey of taking full control of your actions is not always easy. There will be moments when you feel like giving up, when distractions pull you away, and when you doubt your ability to stay on course. But if you can remind yourself that every small action counts, that every choice is shaping your future, you'll find the motivation to keep going. Stay committed to taking control of your actions, and you'll find that your life begins to change in ways you never imagined. Number 2, build habits that match the life you want. To build a life that reflects your deepest desires, you must start with the right habits. Habits are the small, daily actions that compound over time to shape your future. They are the building blocks of the life you want to create. If your current habits don't align with the life you envision for yourself, you will find it difficult, if not impossible, to achieve your goals. But if you can develop habits that are in line with your desired future, you will have a clear and reliable path to success. Habits are not created overnight. They are forged through consistent effort, intentionality, and the ability to stick with them when it would be easier to give up. The habits you build today are the foundation of your tomorrow. They define your character, your productivity, your health, your relationships, and your overall quality of life. Every decision you make shapes your routine, and your routine shapes your destiny. To transform your life, you must first transform your daily habits. The first step in building habits that match the life you want is to become clear about what you truly want. What does your ideal life look like? What do you want to accomplish? How do you want to feel on a daily basis? These are the questions you must ask yourself before you can begin crafting the habits that will take you where you want to go. Without clarity about your goals and values, it will be difficult to choose habits that will support them. Once you have a clear vision of the life you want, it's time to begin evaluating your current habits. Are the habits you have now taking you closer to your goals, or are they keeping you stuck where you are? If your habits are not aligned with your vision, it's time to make a change. But making a change doesn't mean overnight success. It means being willing to be consistent, patient, and disciplined in building new, empowering habits. Start by identifying the habits that are holding you back. It might be spending too much time on things that don't add value to your life, like excessive social media scrolling or procrastinating on important tasks. These habits, though easy to slip into, are sabotaging your growth. Recognizing these habits is the first step toward making a change. Once you've identified the habits that are not serving you, begin replacing them with actions that will help you move closer to your goals. It's important to remember that small changes can lead to significant results over time. You don't need to completely overhaul your entire life all at once. Start with one habit, something small and manageable, and focus on mastering it. Whether it's waking up earlier, reading for 30 minutes a day, or exercising regularly, choose one habit that aligns with your goals and make it a non-negotiable part of your routine. Over time, this habit will become ingrained, and you'll be able to build upon it. Consistency is key when it comes to building habits. It's easy to start something new with enthusiasm, but the real challenge comes in sticking with it. The more you practice a habit, the easier it becomes. Eventually, it will feel like second nature, and you won't have to think twice about doing it. But in the beginning, it will take effort and persistence. Don't let temporary discomfort discourage you. The payoff is always greater than the effort it takes to establish a new habit. The key to creating habits that align with the life you want is to make them fit seamlessly into your daily routine. If a habit feels like an extra task or a burden, you're less likely to stick with it. Instead of forcing yourself to do something you don't enjoy, find a way to make the habit more enjoyable or rewarding. For example, if you want to read more but find it hard to sit down with a book, start by listening to audiobooks during your commute or while exercising. The goal is to make the habit a natural part of your life, something that adds value and doesn't feel like a chore. Another important element of building successful habits is accountability. It's easy to let yourself off the hook when there's no one else to answer to. But when you involve others in your journey, it becomes more difficult to skip the work or abandon your new habits. Find a friend, mentor, or accountability partner who can help keep you on track. Check in with them regularly to share your progress and be open to their feedback. Having someone to encourage you and hold you accountable will give you the support and motivation you need to stay committed to your goals. One of the most effective ways to build habits is by focusing on the process, not just the outcome. It's easy to get fixated on the end result, the dream of success, the finished project, or the goal reached. But the real power lies in the daily actions that lead you there. When you focus on the process, you begin to enjoy the journey rather than stressing over the destination. Celebrate the small wins along the way, and take pride in the effort you put into building the habits that will ultimately get you to your goal. It's also important to stay flexible as you build new habits. Life is unpredictable, and things won't always go according to plan. You may face setbacks, distractions, or moments of doubt, but that doesn't mean you should abandon your new habits altogether. Instead, learn to adjust and adapt. If something isn't working, change your approach. If you miss a day or slip up, don't give up completely. Get back on track the next day. Building habits is a process, and it's important to be patient and persistent through the ups and downs. Finally, remember that habits don't just happen in isolation, they are influenced by your environment. If you want to build habits that align with the life you want, you must set up your environment to support those habits. Surround yourself with people, resources, and situations that encourage you to stay on track. Remove distractions that can derail your progress and replace them with tools and reminders that keep you focused. Your environment plays a crucial role in shaping the habits you form, so make sure it works in your favor. Building habits that match the life you want is about more than just getting things done. It's about creating a life that is aligned with your values and goals. It's about making consistent, intentional decisions each day that move you closer to the person you want to become. The habits you build today will be the foundation of your future, so take control of them now. Choose habits that empower you, that drive you forward, and that support your vision for the life you want to live. Remember, success is the sum of the small habits you practice every day. Choose them wisely, and your future will reflect the life you've always dreamed of.
Number 3. Shut out every voice that weakens your drive. Focus on your vision and guard it fiercely. When you're pursuing something important, whether it's personal growth, success, or peace, one of the greatest challenges you will face is the noise around you. There will always be voices trying to drown out your drive, voices that question your path, your worth, or your ability. These voices can come from others, or often from within yourself. But to truly achieve anything significant, you must shut out every voice that weakens your drive. This isn't just about ignoring negativity. It's about protecting your focus. It's about creating an environment, both inside and outside yourself, that supports your journey, not distracts from it. You can't let every opinion, doubt, or discouragement stand in your way. The more seriously you take your dreams, the more you'll have to cut out the distractions that weaken your resolve. Shutting out the voices that weaken your drive isn't easy. In fact, it's one of the hardest things you'll have to do. But you must realize that the cost of allowing negative influences to creep in is far greater than the discomfort you feel from rejecting them. Every time you let someone's negativity into your mind, you give away a piece of your confidence. You give away a piece of your energy. You allow someone else's beliefs about you to become your reality, and the longer you allow this to happen, the harder it is to believe in your own strength. The first voice you have to shut out is the voice of doubt. It's the voice that tells you that you're not capable, that your goals are too big, or that the road ahead is too hard. This voice is often subtle. It may even sound rational, but the truth is, it is poison to your progress. Doubt makes you question your own decisions, your ability to handle challenges, and your worthiness of success. If you listen to it, you won't take action. You'll stay stuck in the idea phase, always dreaming, but never doing. To defeat this voice, you must remind yourself of your purpose every single day. Your purpose is the counterattack to doubt. Your purpose is what gets you out of bed when it's hard, what keeps you going when you feel like giving up. Next, you have to shut out the voice of the crowd. This is the voice that tells you to follow the easy path, the one that everyone else is taking. It's the voice of comfort, of mediocrity. It's the voice that encourages you to stay in your comfort zone, not challenge yourself, not take risks. This voice whispers to you that the status quo is enough, that you don't need to push harder, that you don't need to reach higher. If you listen to this voice, you will end up just like everyone else, living a life that's good enough, but not truly fulfilling. Shutting out the voice of the crowd means being willing to walk a path that's less traveled. It means refusing to conform to what's expected of you, and choosing instead to do what you know is right for your growth. It means making decisions that others might not understand, but knowing deep down they are the right ones for you. Then you must shut out the voice of fear. Fear comes in many forms. It's the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of judgment, the fear of the unknown. Fear is powerful because it speaks directly to your survival instinct, telling you to play it safe, to stay within your boundaries, to avoid anything that might cause pain or discomfort. But fear is a liar. It tells you that you won't succeed before you even try. It tells you that the risks aren't worth it, that you should turn back now. If you listen to fear, you will remain stagnant, always stuck in a place of what if. But courage is not the absence of fear. It's taking action despite it. When you refuse to listen to fear, you open yourself up to new possibilities. You take the risks that others are too scared to take, and with every small victory, you strengthen your ability to face fear and move past it. There's also the voice of comparison. This is one of the most dangerous voices, because it robs you of your joy and confidence. It tells you that you're not doing enough, that you're falling behind, that you're not as good as someone else. When you constantly compare yourself to others, you forget to celebrate your own progress. You forget how far you've come, and the unique journey that's yours alone. Comparison makes you question your pace, your path, and your worth. But no one else's journey is yours. Their progress doesn't diminish your potential. Shutting out the voice of comparison means learning to stay focused on your own path. It means being grateful for your own progress, no matter how small, and being confident in the pace that works for you. You also need to shut out the voice of negativity from others. This could be people who question your choices, or tell you that your goals are too big. Sometimes it's the voice of well-meaning family members, or friends who project their own fears onto you. They may tell you it's too risky, that you should play it safe, or that you're asking for too much. You can't let their limitations become your own. People often tell you what they believe is possible based on their own experiences, but that doesn't mean their belief system applies to you. You need to set healthy boundaries with these voices. Surround yourself with those who lift you up, who encourage you, and who believe in your vision. Learn to say no to the negativity, and instead invite positivity into your life. Finally, you must shut out the voice of your own inner critic. We are often our own worst enemy. We beat ourselves up over mistakes. We tell ourselves we're not good enough. We focus on our weaknesses instead of our strengths. This voice holds us back more than anything else. It keeps us stuck in cycles of self-doubt and frustration. You will never be able to do something great if you are constantly telling yourself you can't. Shut out the voice of the critic by practicing self-compassion. Acknowledge your mistakes, but don't let them define you. Celebrate your strengths and your efforts. Remind yourself every day that you are worthy of success and capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. Shutting out every voice that weakens your drive isn't just a strategy, it's a necessity. Your dreams are too important to be drowned out by negativity. Your potential is too great to be limited by fear or doubt. When you learn to block out these voices, you create space for your own voice to rise up. You create space for confidence, clarity, and conviction to guide you. And when you do that, you become unstoppable. The only voice that should matter is the one that reminds you of your strength, your vision, and your purpose. Stay connected to that voice, and everything else will fade away. You are the only one who can determine your path. Don't let anyone or anything take that power away from you. Your success depends on it.
Number 4. Push forward even when no one believes you. When you embark on a path towards something meaningful, whether it's a personal goal, a business dream, or a life transformation, you will face a moment where no one believes in you. This is not an if, it's a when. There will come a time when everyone around you doubts your ability. They may question your choices, your timing, and even your sanity. They'll look at your progress, or lack of it, and tell you to give up. The truth is, people won't always understand your journey. They may not see your vision, and they may not believe in your potential. But here's the truth. You need to hold on to. None of that matters. What matters is that you push forward even when no one believes in you. Belief from others is not a prerequisite for success. It's often the opposite. Those who achieve something remarkable are the ones who at some point stood alone. When everyone else doubted, when the odds were stacked against them, they continued to push forward with unwavering belief in themselves and their mission. Their journey wasn't dependent on external validation. It was rooted in internal conviction. They knew that success isn't determined by the approval of others, but by the persistence to keep moving when the world gives you every reason to stop. It's easy to be motivated when everyone supports you, when people are cheering you on, but that support won't always be there. People will fall away. Friends, family, even those closest to you may not understand your vision. They might even actively discourage you, fearing that you'll fail or that you'll get hurt. But their fear isn't yours to carry. You are the one who has to live your life. You are the one who has to carry your dreams, not them. Understand this. The only person who needs to believe in your vision is you. The only person who can truly validate your journey is you. You must be willing to move forward, even when everyone else is questioning you. Even when they are offering their doubts and criticisms, you must stand firm in your belief and know that if you don't quit, you will eventually reach your goal, regardless of whether anyone else believes in you along the way. In the beginning, when you're just starting out, progress may be slow. The results you want may seem far away, but this is the test. It's in those moments of doubt, when there's no external support, that your true strength is forged. The most successful people didn't achieve greatness because of others' belief in them. They achieved it because they refused to quit when no one else thought it was possible. And this process can be painful. It's painful to feel like you're pushing against a wall, especially when that wall is built of doubt and negativity from others. But what you must realize is that this is part of the journey. Success doesn't come from following a well-trodden path with a crowd of people cheering you on. Success comes from the quiet moments of determination when no one is watching, when no one is clapping. It's in those moments when it's just you against the world that your character is built. There will be times when you feel isolated. The people around you may not understand why you keep going, even when you haven't yet achieved what you set out to do. They may tell you to give up,
to settle for less, to play it safe. But the truth is, if you give in to their doubts, you're giving up on yourself. You're giving up on your vision. You're letting someone else's limitations become your reality. The key is to push forward with purpose. Every step you take, even the small ones, brings you closer to your goal. The journey will test your patience. It will test your resilience. But remember, the greatest achievements come to those who endure. When the odds are against them, keep taking the next step. Keep moving forward. No matter how many people doubt you, no matter how many obstacles stand in your way, your progress is your proof. Every action you take, every challenge you overcome, is evidence of your commitment to your vision. You have to stop looking for external validation. There will be days when you feel like you're doing it all for nothing. There will be times when you feel like giving up, when you wonder if it's all worth it. But that's when you have to dig deep and find your inner strength. Your belief in yourself must outweigh any doubt, any fear, or any criticism from others. You have to trust that the path you're on is the right one for you, even if no one else can see it. It's also important to remember that those who doubt you may not even understand the journey you're on. They may not see your vision, your long-term goals, or the bigger picture. They may be projecting their own fears and insecurities onto you. They may not believe in your dreams because they don't understand them. But that doesn't matter. You are not living for their approval. You are living for your own purpose. And if you keep moving forward, eventually, those who doubted you will see the fruits of your labor. But by then you'll already be where you want to be, because you never gave up. The power to push forward is not about ignoring the doubts of others. It's about not letting them control you. You can acknowledge the doubts, but you can't let them stop you. Every time you keep going in the face of doubt, you strengthen your resolve. You build resilience. You prove to yourself that you can trust your own decisions, your own instincts, and your own vision. This is how you build unshakable confidence. This is how you become unstoppable. No one achieves greatness without facing resistance. No one reaches the top without being tested. The road to success is filled with moments of isolation, struggle, and doubt, but it's also filled with moments of clarity, achievement, and pride. The key is to continue pushing forward, even when no one believes in you. The more you push, the closer you get to your breakthrough. And when that moment comes, when you finally reach your goal, you will realize that every step of the journey was worth it, because you didn't let anyone's doubt stop you from pursuing your dreams. So when the world tells you to stop, when no one believes in you, keep going, keep pushing, keep believing in yourself. You are the only one who needs to see the vision clearly, and that's all that matters. Because in the end, the only opinion that counts is yours. Keep moving forward, and one day you will look back and see that you were right all along. You had it in you the entire time.
Number 5. Train your mind to fight through hard times. Hard times are inevitable. Life doesn't always unfold according to plan. In fact, there will be times when everything seems to be falling apart. You'll face challenges you didn't expect. You'll experience pain, disappointment, frustration, and loss. But here's the thing. Hard times don't define you. How you handle them, how you respond to them, that's what defines you. In these moments, the most powerful tool you can have is a trained mind. A mind that doesn't crumble under pressure, but fights through adversity. A mind that doesn't give up when the road gets tough, but finds ways to keep moving forward. If you want to achieve greatness, you must train your mind to fight through hard times. The mind is your most powerful asset. It shapes your reality, dictates your actions, and determines your outcomes. But your mind is also fragile. It can be easily swayed by emotions, stress, and negative thoughts. When life throws obstacles in your path, your mind can either become your greatest strength or your greatest weakness. The choice is yours. If you allow negative thoughts to take over, if you let fear and self-doubt guide your actions, you will find it much harder to overcome the challenges that come your way. But if you train your mind to fight through hard times, you'll develop the resilience to handle whatever life throws at you. Training your mind begins with awareness. You must be aware of your thoughts and how they influence your actions. When faced with a challenge,
your mind will naturally start to focus on the negative, on what could go wrong, on how hard the situation is, and on how you might fail. But if you don't catch those negative thoughts in the moment, they will start to shape your reality. They will prevent you from taking action and moving forward. You need to recognize when your mind is going down a negative path and consciously shift your focus to solutions. Instead of thinking about what you can't control, think about what you can. Instead of dwelling on what might go wrong, think about what you can do right now to improve the situation. This shift in mindset is the first step in training your mind to fight through hard times. Next, you must develop emotional control. Life can be overwhelming, and emotions can easily cloud your judgment. When you're facing difficulty, it's easy to let frustration, anger, or sadness take over. These emotions can cause you to make impulsive decisions, to react without thinking, or to shut down entirely. But when you train your mind, you learn to control your emotions instead of letting them control you. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings, but rather understanding them and choosing how to respond. For example, when you feel anger rising, take a moment to pause and reflect before reacting. When you feel overwhelmed, take a deep breath and remind yourself that you can handle this. It's about staying calm under pressure, about responding thoughtfully rather than reacting emotionally. Another key to training your mind is building mental toughness. Mental toughness is the ability to stay focused and committed, even when things aren't going your way. It's about developing the strength to keep going when the journey gets tough. Life will test your resilience. It will push you to your limits. But those tests are not there to break you. They're there to make you stronger. When you face adversity, don't focus on how hard it is. Instead, focus on how far you've come and how much more you can achieve. Push through the pain, the frustration, and the exhaustion. Each time you overcome a challenge, you build mental toughness. You become more confident in your ability to handle whatever comes next. It's also important to surround yourself with positivity. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, and the environment you create all influence your mindset. If you surround yourself with negativity, people who complain, criticize, or put you down, it will be much harder to stay positive in tough times. But when you surround yourself with people who uplift you, who encourage you, and who believe in your potential, you're better equipped to fight through hard times. Additionally, consume content that inspires and motivates you. Read books, listen to podcasts, or watch videos that reinforce a positive, growth-oriented mindset. Your mind is like a garden, and you have to be careful what you plant in it. Fill it with seeds of hope, determination, and possibility, and watch it grow into a resilient, strong, and positive mind. Building mental strength also means learning to embrace discomfort. Hard times often require us to step out of our comfort zones. They push us to do things we've never done before, to face fears we've never faced before. But discomfort is where growth happens. The more you embrace discomfort, the stronger your mind becomes. Think about the last time you faced something difficult. At first it felt uncomfortable, but once you pushed through, you learned something new about yourself. You proved that you were capable of handling more than you thought. Hard times offer the opportunity to stretch your limits, to learn new skills, and to develop a deeper sense of resilience. When you train your mind to embrace discomfort, you open yourself up to new possibilities and experiences. Another important aspect of training your mind is setting clear goals. When you have a clear vision of what you want to achieve, you give your mind something to focus on. Hard times can make you feel lost, uncertain, or directionless. But when you have a specific goal in mind, it gives you a reason to keep going. It gives you something to fight for. Your goals provide a roadmap for your actions, even when the path seems unclear. Whenever you feel lost or overwhelmed, remind yourself of your goals. Break them down into smaller, manageable steps. This keeps your mind focused on the bigger picture, and it makes the hard times feel more like a challenge to overcome rather than an insurmountable obstacle. One of the most important skills in training your mind to fight through hard times is perseverance. Perseverance is the ability to keep going, even when it seems like all hope is lost. When you're facing a difficult situation, it's easy to want to give up, to quit, to throw in the towel. But perseverance is what separates those who succeed from those who don't. It's about continuing to push forward, even when the odds are against you. It's about finding the strength to keep going when you feel like you've given all you can. Perseverance isn't about being strong all the time. It's about showing up and doing the work day after day, no matter how difficult it gets. Finally, remember that hard times don't last forever. No matter how tough things may seem right now, they will pass. Every challenge you face is temporary, and each step you take brings you closer to the other side. The key is to keep moving forward, even when it feels like there's no end in sight. Trust in yourself and in your ability to get through this. Keep training your mind to stay focused, positive, and resilient, and you will emerge stronger on the other side. Training your mind to fight through hard times isn't easy. It takes time, practice, and patience. But the more you train your mind, the more resilient you become. Hard times won't break you. They'll build you. And with each challenge you face, you'll grow stronger, more determined, and more capable of handling whatever comes your way. Keep going. Keep fighting. Your strength is greater than you think.
Number 6. Give your goals more time than your doubts. There are two forces that constantly shape your progress: your goals and your doubts. Every single person who has ever achieved something remarkable has faced these two forces. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. They gave more time to their goals than they did to their doubts. You see, doubts are natural. They are part of being human. But here's the thing about doubts. They don't have to control you. You don't have to give them power. In fact, when you give your goals more time than your doubts, you take away the power that doubt has over you. The journey towards achieving your goals is never easy, but it becomes much harder when you allow your doubts to take over. Doubts come in many forms. They can be thoughts like, what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if I make a mistake? These questions are normal, but they don't define your journey. They are simply distractions. If you allow them to dominate your mind, you risk losing sight of your bigger picture. This is where you must draw a line. You need to decide where your energy will go, into your doubts or into your goals, and the decision must always be the same. Give your goals more time than your doubts. The first step is acknowledging that doubts are just temporary. They don't reflect your abilities or your worth. They're not an indication that you won't succeed. They're simply the mind's way of trying to protect you from risk and uncertainty. When you step out of your comfort zone, doubts naturally arise. But it's important to realize that these doubts are not the truth. They are only thoughts, and thoughts can be changed. Your goals, however, are real. They represent your aspirations, your dreams, and the future you want to create. They are what will drive you, inspire you, and give you a reason to keep moving forward. Now let's talk about time. Time is the most valuable resource you have. Every day you wake up, you are given a limited amount of time to use, and how you spend that time determines your future. If you spend more time feeding your doubts, you are wasting precious time that could be used to work on your goals. Every minute you spend thinking about what could go wrong is a minute you're not spending on what could go right. Every second you give to your doubts is a second you take away from your dreams, and once you spend time, you can't get it back. Time spent on doubt is time taken away from progress. You cannot afford to waste time in this way. What you must realize is that you are always in control of where you place your attention. You get to choose what you focus on. When doubts arise, and they will, you can choose to confront them and then let them go. You can choose to focus on what you want, not what you fear. Every time you feel doubt creeping in, use that as a reminder to refocus on your goals. Remind yourself of why you started, of what you want to achieve, and of the steps you can take right now to move closer to your dreams. When you put more time and energy into your goals than into your doubts, you take back control. Doubts will always be part of the process, but they don't have to be the loudest voice in your head. You can drown out the noise of self-doubt by reminding yourself of your strength, your vision, and your commitment to your goals. What are your goals? What are you working toward? When you think about those goals, really think about them. How will your life change when you achieve them? How will you feel? How will you look back on this time in your life and say, I didn't let my doubts stop me. I kept moving forward, and now I am where I always wanted to be. There will be moments when it feels like the doubts are winning. There will be times when the fear of failure, or the fear of not being good enough starts to overwhelm you. But here's the truth. You will always face those moments. They are part of the journey. What matters is how you respond to them. Every time you feel those doubts creeping in, you have an opportunity to decide whether you'll give them more time or whether you'll give more time to your goals. Every time you choose your goals, you make progress. Every time you choose your doubts, you stall. It's that simple. Your goals deserve your time, they deserve your energy, they deserve your focus, and in return they will give you everything you need to succeed. Your goals will push you to become better, stronger, and more capable, but only if you choose to invest in them. When you invest time in your goals, you build momentum. The more time you give your goals, the clearer they become. You begin to see the path ahead, and the doubts start to fade away. The more you focus on your goals, the more confident you become in your ability to achieve them. Here's another truth about doubt. It's often louder at the beginning. When you're just starting out, you're uncertain, and you may not see immediate results. That's when doubt tries to take the strongest hold. But this is the time to stand firm. This is when your commitment to your goals matters the most. The longer you stay focused on your goals, the more evidence you'll have that you are on the right path. And as you accumulate that evidence, doubt starts to lose its grip. You gain confidence. You start to see that success is within reach, and the doubts that once seemed so powerful begin to diminish. The road to achieving your goals is not a straight line. It's filled with obstacles, setbacks, and moments of uncertainty. But the one thing that will keep you moving forward is your ability to focus more on your goals than your doubts. When you keep your attention on what you want to achieve, instead of what you fear, you create an unstoppable force in your life. The more time you give your goals, the more power you give them. And in doing so, you take away the power from your doubts. Your future is waiting for you. Your goals are waiting for you. But only you can choose how much time you give them. You can spend your time dwelling on your doubts, or you can spend your time building your future. The choice is yours. When you choose to give more time to your goals than to your doubts, you are choosing to create a future that is aligned with your deepest desires. And that, my friend, is a choice worth making. So every time doubt creeps in, remember this: you have the power to choose where your focus goes. Choose your goals. Choose your future. Choose the life you want to create. And give those goals the time, energy, and focus they deserve. Let your doubts be fleeting, but let your goals be the guiding force in your life. Because the more time you give to your goals, the closer you get to achieving them. Keep going. Keep focusing. Your future is in your hands.
Number 7. Trust yourself more than you trust their praise. Trusting yourself is one of the most essential decisions you can make in life. It's not just about believing in your abilities. It's about relying on your inner judgment, your instincts, and your true sense of direction. Trusting yourself is the foundation of your personal success. It's where your confidence begins, and it's what allows you to navigate through challenges and setbacks without losing your sense of self. While the opinions of others can influence you, they should never overshadow the trust you have in yourself. You must learn to trust yourself more than you trust their praise. Praise from others feels good, and it's natural to seek validation. Human beings are social creatures, and it's affirming to hear that our efforts are recognized and appreciated. But there's a danger in relying too heavily on external praise. Praise, like criticism, is fleeting. People may praise you one moment and criticize you the next. If you tie your self-worth to the praise of others, you give them the power to control how you feel about yourself. Praise can be encouraging, but it cannot be the foundation of your confidence. Trusting yourself means understanding that your self-worth does not come from others. It doesn't come from their approval or their compliments. It comes from within. It's built on the quiet belief that you are capable, that you have what it takes to succeed, and that you can overcome anything that stands in your way. When you trust yourself, you learn to stand firm even when others question your choices, when they don't understand your vision, or when they tell you that it can't be done. You learn to move forward with conviction because you trust your own ability to make the right decisions, even in the face of doubt. External praise can be a motivator, but it should never be the reason you keep going. When you depend on praise to fuel your drive, You become vulnerable to the shifts in opinion around you. What happens when the praise stops coming? What happens when you're not recognized for your hard work? If you've built your self-worth on external validation, you risk losing your sense of purpose when the praise fades away. But when you trust yourself, you're not swayed by the applause or the silence. You keep moving forward because you believe in what you're doing, in the vision you've created, and in your ability to make it happen. It's important to remember that not everyone will understand your journey. People may offer praise when they see success, but they may also question or doubt you when things aren't going well. They may try to discourage you when they don't see the results they expect. But if you rely too heavily on their praise, you'll find yourself constantly seeking approval. You might find yourself altering your path or making decisions based on what others think, instead of trusting your own instincts. This leads to frustration and confusion. When you trust yourself more than you trust their praise, you give yourself the freedom to stay true to your vision, even when others don't understand it. You no longer feel the need to explain yourself or seek approval. You trust your judgment, even when the world isn't clapping for you. Your inner voice becomes louder than the outside noise. You know that your value is not determined by the opinions of others, but by your own actions, your own choices, and the progress you make every day. But trusting yourself doesn't mean disregarding feedback. Feedback can be incredibly valuable. It helps you grow, learn, and improve. However, feedback should be used as a tool to enhance your decisions, not as the foundation for them. Trusting yourself means knowing when to take in advice and when to trust your own intuition. It means being able to listen to others, take constructive criticism when needed, but ultimately trust your ability to discern what's best for you. In the face of uncertainty, trusting yourself becomes even more crucial. It's easy to trust yourself when everything is going well. But when things get difficult, when the road gets tough, and when doubt creeps in, that's when trust in yourself is tested. Trusting yourself means not giving up when things aren't going as planned. It means staying the course, even when you can't see the end result. When you trust yourself, you believe that you'll figure it out. You trust that you have the strength, the resilience, and the wisdom to make it through, no matter how tough things get. There's also a deep sense of fulfillment that comes from trusting yourself. It's not about proving anyone else wrong or winning anyone else's approval. It's about doing the work, staying true to your own values, and achieving success on your own terms. When you trust yourself, you feel empowered. You feel like you're living authentically, like you're not trying to meet anyone else's expectations, but your own. And that sense of alignment, that connection to your inner purpose, is incredibly powerful. Many people fail to realize that true success doesn't come from the recognition of others. It comes from within. Success is about setting your own goals and pursuing them relentlessly. It's about looking in the mirror and knowing that you gave everything you had to reach your potential. It's about the satisfaction of knowing that your efforts, your work, your sacrifices, and your decisions were made with conviction and belief in your own ability to succeed. That is where true fulfillment lies. While praise can be encouraging, it is your trust in yourself that will propel you forward when things get tough. It will allow you to pick yourself up after failure and keep moving. It will be the thing that fuels your determination when everyone else doubts you, when the road gets hard, and when obstacles seem insurmountable. Trusting yourself is the key to resilience. It's what allows you to stay committed, even when the world around you tells you to quit. The moment you realize that your worth is not based on external praise, you reclaim your power. You stop living for the approval of others, and you start living for your own purpose. You begin to make decisions that align with your goals, your vision, and your values, not based on what others think, but based on what you know is right for you. And this is when you start making real progress. This is when you start moving forward with clarity, confidence, and conviction. In the end, the most important thing is that you trust yourself more than you trust their praise. When you build a solid foundation of self-trust, you no longer need anyone else's validation to feel confident in your path. You will find strength in your own decisions, and you will trust that no matter what happens, you have everything you need to succeed. Your goals, your dreams, and your journey belong to you, and only you. And the more you trust yourself, the more you'll be able to achieve.
Number 8. Break every distraction that steals your focus. Distractions are everywhere. They are constant, relentless, and incredibly effective at stealing your focus. They're the things that pull you away from your goals, that make you feel overwhelmed, or that cause you to lose sight of what really matters. It's easy to get caught up in them, but if you want to truly achieve your dreams, you have to break every distraction that comes your way. Every distraction is an obstacle between you and your success, and it's essential that you become aware of them, recognize their power, and take decisive action to remove them from your life. It's not just about eliminating things that waste your time. It's about protecting your energy, your focus, and your commitment to your goals. Distractions are a thief of your potential. They promise instant gratification or temporary relief, but they ultimately rob you of the time and mental space that could be used to build something meaningful. They're subtle. They show up when you're feeling tired, when you're not sure if you can keep going, or when you're unsure of your next move. They try to convince you that it's okay to check your phone for the 100th time, that a quick break is harmless, or that you deserve to procrastinate for a while. But these distractions, no matter how small they seem, are slowly taking you off course. The problem with distractions is that they don't just take your time, they take your attention. When your focus is scattered, you lose the ability to give your full energy to anything. You're constantly switching between tasks, never able to really immerse yourself in one thing, and without focus, there's no progress. There's no momentum. You might feel busy, but you're not getting closer to your goals. You're stuck in a loop of disjointed actions, moving from one thing to the next, without ever really completing anything. To break every distraction, you first need to realize just how much control they have over your life. You need to see distractions for what they really are: time wasters that rob you of your potential. They come in all forms: social media, television, unimportant tasks, and even well-meaning people who pull you in different directions. Each distraction is a moment you could be spending building your future, working on your skills, or making progress toward your goals. One of the biggest challenges with distractions is that they don't always look like distractions. Sometimes they're disguised as productive activities. You might convince yourself that you need to check your email or make a phone call, but in reality, these tasks often pull you away from what matters most. You have to recognize that not every task you take on is helping you get closer to your goals. Some tasks are simply time fillers, things that give you the illusion of productivity, but don't actually move you forward. The key to breaking distractions is building boundaries. You have to decide once and for all what is worth your time and what isn't. This doesn't mean that you can't ever check your social media or watch TV. It just means that you have to be intentional about when and how you engage with these things. Distractions are most dangerous when they become habits, when you automatically pick up your phone the moment you feel bored, or when you're mindlessly scrolling through content that doesn't add value to your life. You need to create a clear separation between the things that are helping you grow and the things that are holding you back. One powerful way to break distractions is to schedule your time. When you create a daily or weekly schedule, you become intentional about how you spend your time. You prioritize your goals, your work, and your personal development. And most importantly, you set specific times for everything, including breaks and relaxation. If you don't schedule your time, distractions will fill the gaps. But when you plan your day with purpose, you can direct your attention toward what matters most. You eliminate the chaos that distractions bring and replace it with a clear focus on your objectives. Another crucial step in breaking distractions is learning to say no. This can be one of the hardest things to do, especially when people ask for your time or attention. But the truth is, you can't say yes to everything without saying no to something else. Every time you say yes to a distraction, you're saying no to your goals. You're saying no to your dreams. You have to protect your focus with fierce determination. This doesn't mean you have to be rude or dismissive to others, but it does mean that you have to learn how to prioritize your time. Be mindful of what's truly important to you, and be willing to say no to anything that takes you away from your purpose. It's also important to recognize that distractions can come from within. Self-doubt, negative thoughts, and procrastination are all internal distractions that can derail your progress. These mental distractions can be just as powerful as external ones. They can stop you from taking action, or they can convince you to put things off until tomorrow. But the truth is, tomorrow never comes. The only time you have is right now. And the more you give in to these internal distractions, the further away you get from achieving your goals. You need to develop the mental toughness to push through these moments of doubt and uncertainty. You need to remind yourself that your goals are worth the effort, and that the discomfort you feel in the moment is temporary. The satisfaction of achievement will always be greater than the fleeting relief that distractions provide. One of the most effective ways to break distractions is to create an environment that supports your focus. Your environment plays a huge role in your ability to stay on track. If your workspace is cluttered, if your phone is constantly within reach, or if you have too many things competing for your attention, it's going to be nearly impossible to stay focused. Take a good look at your environment and ask yourself if it's helping or hindering your progress. Are there things around you that constantly distract you? Is your phone always buzzing with notifications? Is your workspace disorganized? These are all small distractions that over time add up to big obstacles. Take steps to eliminate the clutter, turn off unnecessary notifications, and create a space that fosters concentration and productivity. Breaking distractions is also about developing discipline. Discipline is the ability to stay focused on your goals despite the temptations and challenges that come your way. It's about resisting the urge to give in to distractions and staying committed to your purpose. Discipline is a muscle that gets stronger with practice. The more you practice discipline, the easier it becomes to ignore distractions and stay on course. It's not about perfection. It's about making the conscious choice to stay focused every single day. The reality is, distractions will always be a part of life. They will never completely go away, but you have the power to control how much of your time and attention you give them. When you break every distraction that steals your focus, you take back control of your life. You become the person who doesn't get pulled off course by every little thing. You become the person who stays focused, who stays driven, and who achieves their goals. Breaking distractions is not just about eliminating time wasters, it's about creating a life that is aligned with your purpose and your vision for the future. It's about making every moment count, and investing your energy where it truly matters.
Number 9. Stand up every time you fall without fear. Every single person who has ever achieved something great has faced moments of failure, hardship, and setbacks. There's no way around it. Falling down is inevitable, and it's not something to be ashamed of. What matters is how you respond when you hit the ground. Will you stay down, defeated by the circumstances, or will you stand up, dust yourself off, and continue moving forward? Every time you fall, you have a choice. The strength lies not in avoiding failure, but in rising up each time you fall without fear. Failure is not the end. It's a part of the journey. Every failure brings with it valuable lessons. It's through the challenges and the falls that you learn, grow, and develop the resilience necessary for success. What really matters is your ability to rise again and again, no matter how hard the fall. If you're truly determined to succeed, fear of failure cannot dictate your actions. It cannot stop you from getting back up when you've been knocked down. Fear is the true enemy, not failure itself. Many people fear failure so much that they never take action. They are afraid of what others might think, or they worry about how their mistakes will be perceived. This fear of falling stops them from even trying. But to achieve greatness, you have to understand that failure is simply a stepping stone. Every successful person has failed, some many times over. But what separates those who succeed from those who don't is their refusal to give up. They stand up every time they fall without hesitation, without fear. Standing up after a fall isn't always easy. There are moments when life hits you hard, when you feel as though the weight of the world is on your shoulders, and when the road ahead looks impossible to navigate. During those moments, it's easy to let fear control your actions. It's easy to convince yourself that you're not strong enough, that you're not capable, or that you've made too many mistakes to recover. But none of those thoughts are true. The fact that you're alive, the fact that you have the ability to think, and the fact that you have the strength to keep going, proves that you can overcome anything. Fear is the biggest obstacle you'll face when you fall. It's the voice that tells you to stay down, that your best days are behind you, that there's no point in trying again. But the truth is, every time you stand up, you build more strength. Every time you rise after a fall, you develop more courage, more resilience, and more belief in your ability to succeed. You don't just come back from failure, you come back stronger, wiser, and better equipped to handle the challenges ahead. The key to standing up every time you fall is perspective.
You have to understand that failure is not a reflection of who you are as a person. It's just a moment in time, a temporary setback. It doesn't define you. What defines you is how you respond to failure. Do you use it as an excuse to quit? Or do you use it as motivation to try again, to work harder and to push through the obstacles that are in your way? In those moments of failure, it's easy to feel defeated. It's easy to feel like you've reached your limit. But the truth is, you are capable of far more than you realize. Each time you get back up, you prove to yourself that you can go further than you ever thought possible. You build confidence in your own ability to persevere, and you develop a deep inner strength that can carry you through even the toughest of times. When you stand up without fear, you stop letting failure control you. You stop letting the fear of falling again keep you from moving forward. You realize that failure is not something to be feared. It's something to be embraced. It's a sign that you're on the right path. It means that you're taking risks, pushing your limits, and stepping out of your comfort zone. Failure means you're growing. It's important to remember that you don't have to rise alone. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, who will lift you up when you fall, and who will encourage you to keep going. The journey toward success is not a solitary one. You will face difficult moments, and during those times it's critical to have a support system in place. Don't be afraid to lean on others when you need strength. There's no shame in asking for help when you're struggling. In fact, doing so will help you stay grounded and remind you that you're not alone on this journey. But ultimately, the power to rise is within you. Your ability to keep going, even when it seems impossible, comes from your own inner strength. It's your determination, your willpower, and your commitment to your goals that will see you through. When you make the decision to rise every time you fall, you take control of your future. You become the one who shapes your destiny, regardless of the obstacles in your way. The truth is, there will always be setbacks. Life is unpredictable, and you can't control everything. What you can control is how you respond. Do you let fear hold you back, or do you stand up, take a deep breath, and push forward? The more you stand up without fear, the more you prove to yourself that there's nothing that can stop you. The more you show yourself that no matter how many times you fall, you can always rise again. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get it right every time. The key is persistence. It's about getting up one more time than you fall. It's about refusing to let anything hold you back. It's about understanding that every fall is a lesson. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn. And every time you rise, you get closer to your dreams. So, no matter how many times you fall, remember that you can always stand up, you can always start again, and with every rise you get stronger, you get closer, and you prove to the world, and most importantly to yourself, that nothing can stop you from achieving what you set out to do. Stand up every time you fall, do it without fear, and keep moving forward.
Number 10, choose effort over comfort every single time. Comfort is the enemy of progress. It lulls you into a sense of security, tricks you into thinking that you've arrived, and keeps you stagnant. The problem is, comfort doesn't lead to growth. It leads to complacency. If you want to achieve anything significant, you must choose effort over comfort every single time. This choice is not just about working harder. It's about making the decision to push beyond what feels easy, to step into the discomfort of growth, and to pursue your goals with relentless determination. We all know what it feels like to seek comfort. After a long day of work, the thought of collapsing on the couch, scrolling through social media, or watching TV can feel like the best reward. But the truth is, the reward is not in the comfort, it's in the effort. The real reward comes from the hard work, the sacrifice, and the time you put into improving yourself. When you choose comfort, you're choosing to avoid the very challenges that would help you grow. You're choosing to stay where you are. Instead of reaching for something better, choosing effort over comfort means saying no to the easy way out. It means rejecting the impulse to take the shortcut, to skip the hard work, or to avoid the discomfort that comes with pushing yourself. Effort is what brings about transformation. Effort is what builds character, resilience, and strength. When you choose to push yourself beyond the easy path, you're investing in your future.
Every effort you make today lays the foundation for success tomorrow. Comfort can be incredibly tempting, but you have to ask yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice for the life you want? Are you willing to endure the temporary discomfort that comes with hard work in order to achieve something greater? Or will you settle for the illusion of comfort while your dreams slip further away? Comfort is the easy option, but it's also the dead-end option. It might feel good in the moment, but it never leads to the success you're after. True fulfillment comes from putting in the effort, from doing the work even when you don't feel like it, and from embracing the discomfort that comes with pushing yourself to new heights. Choosing effort over comfort is a mindset. It's about training your brain to look at challenges as opportunities for growth, rather than threats to your well-being. When you start viewing difficulty as a stepping stone instead of a roadblock, you begin to understand that effort is not something to fear. In fact, effort becomes something to embrace. The more effort you put into something, the more you learn, the stronger you become, and the closer you get to achieving your goals. This is where discipline plays a huge role. Discipline is what keeps you moving forward when comfort tries to pull you back. It's what pushes you to keep going when you're tired, when things get hard, and when the easy path seems so much more appealing. Discipline is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. Without discipline, the desire for comfort will always win. But when you develop the discipline to choose effort every time, you begin to break through the limitations that keep you stuck. You begin to realize that effort is the key to unlocking your potential. It's important to note that choosing effort doesn't mean you have to work non-stop. To the point of burnout, effort doesn't mean overworking yourself or sacrificing your health. It's about making the conscious decision to dedicate your time and energy to things that truly matter. It's about showing up, day after day, even when you don't feel like it, even when the results aren't immediate. The effort you put in today may not show immediate rewards, but over time it compounds. Every effort builds on the one before it, and eventually, you'll look back and realize how far you've come because you chose effort over comfort every single time. Comfort, on the other hand, doesn't give you that kind of return. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that you deserve a break, or that you've worked hard enough to take it easy for a while. But the problem with that thinking is that it's a slippery slope. One moment of comfort can easily turn into days, weeks, or even months of complacency. It's easy to get caught up in the cycle of seeking comfort, and before you know it, you've drifted further from your goals, further from your potential, and further from the life you truly want. Effort, on the other hand, never lets you forget your goals. Effort keeps you focused. It keeps you sharp. It reminds you that nothing worth having comes easily. Every time you choose effort over comfort, you reinforce the habit of persistence. You teach yourself that challenges are not barriers, but opportunities for growth. And with each challenge you overcome, you build more momentum, more strength, and more belief in yourself. This mindset of choosing effort over comfort also applies to how you approach failure. Comfort says, avoid failure at all costs. It tells you to play it safe, to stick to what you know, and to avoid anything that might cause you to fail. Effort, on the other hand, says, failure is just a part of the process. It encourages you to step into the unknown, to take risks, and to embrace failure as a valuable lesson on the road to success. When you choose effort, you choose to learn from your mistakes, grow from your challenges, and keep moving forward no matter what. Choosing effort over comfort is not always easy, but it's always worth it. Every time you push yourself, you create a new level of possibility in your life. Every time you choose to put in the effort, even when you'd rather take the easy way out, you grow stronger. And over time, the effort you put in will pay off in ways you can't even imagine right now. It may not always be obvious in the moment, but the progress you make when you choose effort is undeniable. So every time you face a decision, ask yourself, will I choose comfort, or will I choose effort? Will I take the easy road, or will I push through the discomfort and continue on the path that will lead to my success? The more often you choose effort over comfort, the more you'll see your life transform. You'll find that the life you once dreamed of is now within your reach, because every time you chose effort, you made one more step toward making it a reality. Choose effort every single time, and you will find that your growth knows no bounds.